Welcome students. In this class we will be learning about control statements in JavaScript. Now there are several control statements available. Now the first one that we are going to see is the if statement. Now the syntax is if the given condition is true, then we open a parenthesis and we give a set of codes to be executed. That's it. So the syntax is if the condition is true, then we execute it. If not, the control wouldn't even go into this block. So if the condition fails, the control will not enter this block. So we are going to see a few illustrations to understand the if statement, and what I will do is I will try to give at least two illustrations, two examples. One just to have a mathematical check, while the other is probably through the browser, making the user to enter his or her age and then making a decision. So that's exactly what we are going to do in this particular illustration. So without any further ado, let us start by placing an exclamatory mark so that we can get our boilerplate. So in the title I'm going to say example to understand the if statement. So when I say if statement, there is also if else statement, but we are going to be just seeing the example for if statement. So I need to give a link for the CSS. So that the output is little bit appearable. So CSS / so this is the file, CSS file we are linking to. Now I'm going to start a script. So let me open and close the script tag. Now I'm going to use the var to assign a variable. So I already mentioned to you var and let and const are three ways by which we can actually assign or declare variables. For assignment we say equal to sign. So I'm going to say x is equal to say 1 to 1, and then another one where say y is equal to say 200. Now next I'm going to say var z is equal to 121 plus 200. I know this is a very simple illustration, but we will start with simple things and then we will go on to bigger things. So I'm going to say document.write of z here, and then I'm going to make a conditional statement. If my z is greater than say 200, 320, 321, so that's 321. So I'm going to say if z is greater than 300, then you give this document.write as say the number is accepted. That's it. So it's a simple program, and there is the condition. If z, clearly I know that z is greater than 300, right? So we are expecting to see this. Now you can either have this or you can just comment it off. First I will run it without being commented so that you will know what exactly to expect. So this is the browser. You see that 321, the number is accepted. Can you see that? This is the output. Now if I were to comment this off, then you may have a clearer output. You see that the number is accepted. So that is the condition. Now if in case you want to make some checks, say if the number is divisible or not, say for example I got var to be as 321, I'm going to probably create another variable, say z1. z1 is equal to z. When I put percentage, we are actually dealing with modular arithmetic. Okay, so z divided by 2. So that means this quantity which we have got 321 is divided by 2. Now if it is divided by 2, then we call it, if the remainder is 0, we call it as an even number. If not, we call it as an odd number. So we are going to make the check. If z1 is equal to, so this is the way we do the comparison. If z1, so what are we doing here? Actually, we are capturing the quantity that is remaining. So this is modular arithmetic. Percentage is an operator and it performs the modular operation. So if z1 is equal to 0, if the remainder is equal to 0, then you print the number is, or I should say the number is, okay, let me, instead of saying equal to 0, because I know it's odd, just for the sake of our example, I'm saying if z1 not equal to 0. So let me give a space like that. If z1 is not equal to 0, I want to say number is odd. Right? So this is fair enough. I know it's an odd number, but I just want you all to understand how the condition statement works. So I go over here, I refresh it. You see that? The number is odd. You follow me? Now we can extend the same illustration a little bit more with the HTML tag using the inboxes. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So of course you can understand this illustration because it's an odd number we received because of the addition. Now what if we are getting the input from the user, right? So that has to be dealt with. So for that I want to go to the input box and I'm going to say label and then say enter the number to be tested, right, or checked, and I give a break and input box input type is equal to text and then ID is equal to input 1. Now I need to open the CSS file and make it a little bit appearable, but anyway it's okay for now, and this is saved here. Now I want to show you how the output looks. So this is the way it looks, right? So let's move on. So now the question is I have to capture the input. So I'm going to say, I'm not going to use var, I'm going to comment all of this so that it remains. So to comment multiple lines, all you need to do is just place a star and an asterisk and then an asterisk and a star. This is a multiple line comment so that you can still have the notes for your understanding. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let number 1, let number 1 is equal to document dot get element by ID, and that element is input 1. Input 1, I'm capturing the value, that's fine. The value is got. Now once the value is present here, we will have to check with a condition statement. So if n1, or I should say if n1, okay, I need one more statement. So I'm going to say var z be equal to n1 modular 2, right? So if the person is giving us even number and it is divisible by 2, that the remainder is captured in z. Okay, so I take that z and then I check it. If z equals to 0, then what do I do? I open a parenthesis here and then I say document.write. Probably what I can, okay, let me just first document.write it. Document.write, and I'll say the number is even. Okay, so that looks fine. I need to set up a button. So button ID is equal to btn probably 1 or so. I need to give an on click event on click is equal to, say I start with a function there, say function 1. I open and close the parenthesis and then I say submit. Okay, a button event is created here. Now over here, when the click takes place, I need to have a keyword function and then function 1, the activation starts here. Okay, so over here we need to close the parenthesis. So let me close the parenthesis so that the function is free from the red code. Okay, now when we submit it, the value is collected from the input box and then it is divided by 2. The remainder is saved in Z and then that is checked. Probably you can give some space. That is checked whether the remainder is 0. If it is 0, I print it. So I print the number is even. So I'm going over here, I'm clicking here, so I get a submit button here. So I click 20, I place 20 there and it says submit. You see, the number is even. Now why am I getting this, this background is missing? Because I'm not printing it on the HTML page which I've designed. Now if you want to get the HTML page, then we will have to use another tag. So for that we will go here and then we say h2 and then id is equal to message and then I will close it here. Probably result. I think that's a more appropriate word, result. Now what we have to do after this, we will have to say let result1 is equal to document dot, I need to have the query, right? Query selector, document dot query selector of, you need to give this in code with a channel there, and that is actually the way this we have to capture it. So this is what I'm capturing. I'm capturing this tag result and then I am placing a colon there and then coming over here, if this is true, I don't have to write this like this. I can say result1 dot inner HTML is equal to, you can say the number is even. That's it. So this one will take care of it. So we will have to go back and refresh it. So this is what I've got. So I'm giving 22 and I'm submitting. I'm supposed to get a message here. You see that? The number is even. How beautiful it is. So this is a beautiful program. Probably you can refresh it and give a bigger number. 1 2 0 0 3 4 5 6 is a bigger number. The number is even. Lovely. So let's go back to the code, and this is an illustration for the if statement alone. There isn't any else here, and we have made a beautiful example here of checking a number for if the given number is even, and we have done this example by means of two ways. So one is the direct display of the result, and the other is getting the value or getting the input from the user and then making the decision and then getting the result printed. So thank you students, we will go on to the next question.